guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have another video for you guys. I previously just filmed a curvy girl talk, so if you haven't watched that video, it will be linked down below. And this video is going to be a Talks with Ken video. I did one video like this before and it was about entitlement, so if you guys haven't seen that one, then I'll also link that in the description box below. But today's video is going to be about self-love. So if you guys want to know my thoughts on self-love, then please stay tuned and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter. And let's get into the video. Okay, so self-love. I feel like self-love is so often talked about in the media today, especially on social media. There's so many influencers always talking about self-love, self-love, blah, 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 blah. I love myself, blah, 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 blah. It's all over, literally, but I feel like nobody actually not a lot of people actually dive in and help you understand what self-love is, and nobody can make you love yourself by just telling you, like, love yourself, you should love yourself, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that. Nobody can do that for you. It's something that you have to learn on your own. So I'm just here to talk about my experience with self-love, what I think self-love actually is, and my thoughts on self-love in general. In the past, I was confused with what self-love was, right? I used to think that self-love was just confidence and liking or loving the way that you look. Self-love, like, I love that I look like this. I love myself this way. And this is when I was like young, like high school, maybe, probably even younger than high school, but it was when I was like much younger. And I really just thought that that was the end all of self-love, or I just didn't actually like think about it. That was just like the surface level. I didn't dig deep and think about what it actually like means. And now it means something completely different to me, and I feel like ultimately everybody's gonna have their own definition and reasoning and thoughts behind anything, especially something as personal as self-love. You know, this is what I think it is overall. I think self-love is loving your inner self, like loving your personality, loving your flaws, loving your growth mentally. It's like loving your thoughts, your ambitions, your everything, like everything that's more like internal. Because self-love for me isn't just looking in the mirror and saying like, wow, I love this, I love, you know, whatever physical attributes that you have. That's not self-love for me. That's just like, I mean, it is to a certain extent, but it's like physically. I feel like deeper self-love and truer self-love has to do with your mental and your inner self, if that makes any kind of sense. And I feel like it's more rewarding to love yourself from inside to the outside. If you love yourself from the outside to the inside, I don't feel like it's not as rewarding, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, it's really hard for me to get my thoughts on this topic, because I feel like it's actually such a broad concept, and as I said, I feel like everybody's gonna have their own definition and thoughts about it, and there's just like so much that I can say, and I also just don't know if you guys are understanding what I'm trying to say. But an example that I can give is like, if you're by yourself and you're spending time with yourself, like you're in a room by yourself and you're doing whatever it is that you may be doing. For me, something that is bonding time with myself is journaling and jamming out to music, to any kind of music. Just last night I was actually jamming out to like 2007, 2008 R&B, that kind of time, and that was like my favorite R&B time. But anyways, but that is like spending time with yourself, and it's just like loving your own company and loving who you are from the inside. It's easier once you start loving yourself from the inside to love yourself on the outside, in my personal opinion. If you just love yourself like physically, you're still going to struggle with a lot of things. You're still going to struggle with how people treat you, how you should be treated. You're still going to struggle with your own ambitions and knowing who you are. Once you know who you are and you accept yourself and you love yourself, everything becomes 10 times easier. And I promise you, this is not a lie. This is like the golden ticket. Self-love is really like the golden ticket to just living a better and happier life in so many ways, because once you know yourself, it's easier to maneuver around, you know, anything, any situation, whether it be relationships or work or your own career. Like when it comes to anything, once you know yourself, it's much easier to be better in any aspect. And that's another thing. Once you know yourself and once you know what your flaws are or what you don't like about yourself, and if, like, let's say you don't like that you always have an attitude once somebody points whatever out, then you know that you can change that. Then you know that, okay, I don't like this about myself, so I'm going to change it. But that doesn't mean that you just start picking yourself apart. It's very important to, like, be gentle with yourself and understand that you're always going to be in the process of becoming. You're never going to be fully just there. Like, you're never just going to be like solid and this is how you are. Unless that's how you want to stay and you have no problem with who you are, then by all means stay that way. But if something's not working for you, if something is, like, you know, not going right for you, then it's definitely time to change. But a lot of people really just stay the way that they are for their entire lives. But I'm always constantly, like, working on myself, and I know a lot of people are. There are a lot of self-help books which are really, really great. I've read a ton. So if you guys want me to share my book list with you one day, then let me know in the comments down below. I'll definitely love to do that. But overall, my journey actually started in college when I studied psychology, because I was able to work on myself mentally and from the inside out. So that's when my journey with self-love and everything really actually started, and truly, like, I truly started to understand who I was. I don't know if in the past I've ever really thought about that stuff. I more just which happens with a lot of people, especially in today's day and age, got distracted with, like, outer factors and didn't even think about, like, myself, which is not great. Once you also dig deeper into self-love and your inner being and understanding everything about your inner being, it's so much easier to be present in the moment and spend, like, actual quality time instead of just being there, like just filling up space, if that makes sense. That's my definition of self-love, is really truly loving who you are. And once you know who you are, what are you working on, where you want to be, and who your future self is, dude, that is, like, you're unstoppable after that. You're really unstoppable. Like, and you have to keep reminding yourself about this, and you have to constantly work on it. You don't just, like, work on it for, like, a month. And this is something that I've learned the hard way, is, like, you don't just learn something like 1 month. You read a book and all of a sudden you have all the answers, and all of a sudden, hey, I love myself now. And then you go the next, like, year without doing any kind of work on yourself, and you're like, okay, no. Like, self-growth, self-empowerment, self-love, all of that good stuff that you work from the inside is always a work in progress. Just as you are a work in progress, like, everything about you is always a work in progress. Just as our physical bodies change, everything inside is always a work in progress. And nobody is perfect, as so many people love to say, but you just have to understand that you're always going to be a work in progress, and just don't be hard on yourself. And I am the #1 person that should take this advice, because I'm super hard on myself, especially with a lot of things. Like, if I see myself getting angry about the small things, I automatically just get so upset. I was like, didn't you just like work on this? Like, what is wrong with you? But it's definitely something that you have to learn. It's not something that just happens overnight, and it's always a work in progress. And you'll be so proud of yourself when you see yourself handling things in a different manner, in a better manner, and you'll feel so much better. Not a lot of things can faze you once you're in that zone, and you'll understand how important it is to protect your space. You wouldn't allow just anybody to just be around you, especially for like a specific amount of time. It's just like, okay, I've had enough. I need a break. like I can't be around you for this long. It's not anything that's like super personal to anybody else. It's just that your energy is important because you work towards it. It's like you having a super important job and then somebody coming in and ruining it because they make you late to your job or something, and all of a sudden they mess something up. It's like that. Like, don't let anybody ruin your energy once you've been working on it, because not everybody works on themselves. And it's sad that not everybody works on themselves, but it's just something that you have to understand. Not everybody works on themselves, and not everybody has that great energy. And because they don't work on themselves, they're not on the same level as you mentally or emotionally in any way. And energy is contagious. As much as people don't like to admit it, if you're around somebody or if you're around people that are super negative and it's just always so gloomy, you have to set yourself apart. You have to give them a time limit, and don't just tell people like, look, I got 15 minutes with you, after this I'm out. No, because sometimes these could be like your loved ones. But just understand that you have to go back and finish up the work and meditate. Meditate before you're around certain people. Meditate after you're around them. Like, it's all really a work in progress, and your inner peace and your inner being is so much more important than anything else, because after all, we're not here forever. And as much as everybody does understand this, not a lot of people act like it. Like, everybody knows, I'm sure, that, you only live once, right? When Drake came out with the song, everybody was like, you only live once, YOLO, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, but you're not acting like it. You're really not acting like it. If you only live once, why are you so worried that somebody just pushed you because they're in a rush to get on the subway? Or somebody said something about you and it really annoyed you? Like, if you are so like YOLO and all of that other stuff, then not a lot of things would bother you. And I'm saying all of this to say that a lot of this, and if not most of this, does stem from self-love, because once you have self-love, you're able to take care of yourself, your mental, and you just create a better space for yourself and your family, the people around you. You'll be like a light to them, which is pretty great. And also for your like future family, if you have kids and all of that stuff. So self-love is very, very important, okay? It's very important. I encourage you guys to definitely get on a journey to discovering who you are and loving yourself. It's not easy, and it's always going to be a work in progress. You're not going to ever be done. You're always going to be learning new things about yourself. And as life goes on, you're going to change, and you're going to have to accept new things about yourself. You're going to have to accept the change in general. So just understand that. And that will conclude my video on self-love. So let me know in the comments down below, what is your definition of self-love? Ooh, give me one thing in the comments down below that you love about yourself. It could be physically if you'd like, but I prefer something like personality-wise. What do you actually like love about yourself? And I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!